Hi, I'm Richard Weaver and I'm a growth partner with Advantage Business Partnerships. What I'd like to talk to you about today is some of the things you might want to consider when you're first setting up a business. Now, it's easy for people to think they've got a great idea and how they're going to deliver it to market. But one of the fundamental mistakes people make when they first set up a business is they don't consider some of the activity they might need to undertake over the next 6 to 12 and even beyond that period of time as regards what they intend to do with the business. So you need to maintain focus. Focus is one of those abstract terms. In my experience, people will say things such as, you really need to focus on this, or you need to focus on something else. They don't actually provide any system for you to identify what you need to focus on. Over the years, in my coaching experience, my business experience, and delivering some massive strategic projects, I've developed something called the fried egg. And the fried egg is a dynamic process where you can identify some of the key activities that you need to undertake to support your activity. That could be something you do within your personal life, your business life, or in a sporting environment. Every decision we make is influenced by what's known as controllable and uncontrollable factors. And within these two factors, there are internal and external influences. And that's quite a lot of information to try and split up into areas that you can work with. So think about the egg. Think about what a fried egg looks like. There's a mass of white, and in the centre there's a yellow. And what I ask people to do is, if they're thinking about a particular topic, is to start to write down a list of all the activity that they're thinking about as regards the outcomes. So let's think of a simple example. I want to buy some computers for my business. What can I control? I can control how much money I'm going to spend. I can control the make that I want. But what can't I control? I can't control the price directly. I may not be able to control the delivery schedule. So already we're coming up with lists of things that I can control and I can't control. What we then do is all the things that we've identified, and this could take some minutes, it may take hours for a strategic issue, but we place all the things we can control in the yellow of the egg. And there are controllable actions. The things that we can't control go in the white. Then what I ask people to do is to separate the two. And obviously all the activity we can control, I would suggest you put into an action plan. So who's going to buy these computers, and what's the budget, so on and so forth, and with some outcomes and some dates and some accountability. But don't throw away the things you can't control, because the things you can't control are the risks towards your business or your activity. So I would suggest in early stages you maintain a similar list of the activities or the influences or the uncontrollable events that could impact on your decision-making process. In company terms, that's known as a risk register. If we think about the need to do this and why is it so important, it's about performance. Whether you perform as a business leader, whether you perform as a manager, there are key influences. And the performance model has been used for years that says your performance is only as good as your potential minus any interference. So what I would suggest that your action plan does, apart from identifying the areas you can control, is you identify the things that are going to interfere, and they become part of your focus as well, because they will be the things that eventually will bring you down. And that requires you to do several things. Once you've identified those risks, is to put in place some activity that might neutralise them. But more importantly, it's thinking about the contingencies that you might need to undertake to prevent harm happening. In a bigger business, that could be something as simple as a business continuity plan. So if your offices were flooded or you lost power, and they're a significant risk to any business, what would you do? So you need to think about that. And that might be that you have another office set up that you can go to at short notice. However, it could be something as simple as programming in your phone a 24/7 cab company telephone that you can contact when you need to get yourself or your staff home if the tubes go down. So what we're talking about is to identify these risks and have something to fall back on. One of the key requirements for most businesses is to have a clear action plan. And by that, I'm not talking about some in-depth piece of work which sets out every piece of activity you're going to take over the next few weeks or months. but something that just gives you a few bullet points for you to focus on to ensure that some of the main areas that you need to cover will be adequately discussed with your colleagues or your friends or your partners to make sure the activity you undertake is going to deliver the outcomes that are going to be best for your business, but more importantly, best for your customers. So why is an action plan important? I've spoken to people in the past who will say, I really hope this venture is going to work. I really hope this plan is going to deliver. Or they'll say, I've got some really good intentions about what I intend to do. And do you know what? Any plan based on hope and good intentions, in my experience, is likely to fail. What you need within a plan is a set of activity which you'll undertake or which you'll give other people to undertake with a timeline, some accountability alongside that, a time that you're going to complete it by, but where possible, and this is the real key, what's the intended outcome from the activity you're going to take? So if you don't know what the outcome's going to be when you start, it's unlikely you're going to follow a logical plan to deliver the outcomes. So we're talking about how does the action plan look and what's going to be on there. You need to set your priorities. Now, depending on your business and what you're looking to do, whether it's sell a service or sell a good, you need to think about what your main priorities are and how do you create these priorities. Generally, they'll focus on some of the main requirements of any business. You'll need to write a business plan. You'll need to consider, where is your finance going to come from? Are you going to fund it yourself? Are you going to borrow money off of friends, relatives, family? Are you going to try and raise finance through a bank? Are you going to offer equity in your business? In other words, are you going to give part of your business and therefore potential profits to a third person in order to get you going? Where are you going to place your business? How are you going to market it? And more importantly, how are you going to connect with your customers? Because let's be honest, without customers, you haven't got a business. So prioritise, that's the key. The old adage that if you fail to prepare, you may as well prepare to fail, because you'll have no line of thought or direction. But more importantly, if what you're doing doesn't drive your business, you need to ask yourself, why are you doing it? And some of that is around fishing in the right pools, and by that I mean making sure that what you're doing isn't a million miles away from what other people are doing. I leave you with one last thought. 50% of all businesses fail within the first year. And one of the reasons for that is failing to deliver a relevant and timely action plan. Thank you.